Afternoon folks, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. I hope everybody's okay. Now today's the first chance I've had to get back in the garage. Been working silly long shifts all week, and Friday managed to finish at 2 o'clock. It's now a little bit later than that, so I've got a couple of hours to play with the trailer. Remember, project trailer? Now I want to say something about projects. I've got very little to do left on project trailer. If you've been following it from the beginning, you know that it's quite structural. We've gone right through to the base of the chassis, we've built the thing up, and now we're just faffing around. Really, I've got very little left to do. I've got to adjust the angle of the neck, because as I've lowered it, that neck's too low. That's what I've got to do today, and I'm just going to decorate it and get the lights on it. It's as simple as that. I do want to tow it up the road, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I don't want it to be snowing before I do so. So all I've got to do is just raise it to 11 inches, because I can't even tow it with the van. You tow it up the road like that, might look cool, but it's going to drop all the stuff out the back, which is not cool. So therefore, today it's just a case of getting stuck into that, because I want to get into the decoration. I want to get the fenders on it. I just want to get it finished, get the chains on it, start getting the lights on, and make this thing look something. One thing I want to say before I get started, this is very important. Trailer project, whatever it might be, car build, it doesn't matter. You see so many unfinished projects for sale because people get to a point in a project where they realise it isn't going to finish as quickly as they wanted. The last stages of a project, they can take as long as the project itself. You might think you're 4/5 of the way through, but actually you're barely halfway. It's the detail. The devil's in the detail, like they say. It's the little bits and pieces that take the time, and that's why a lot of people flog projects. I see a lot of projects on the tube as well, where you'll follow a car build from scratch. You see them welding the chassis, you see them putting the body on, you see them getting the panel gaps right, and then it just drops off the tube. And isn't that frustrating? Haven't we all had that? I can't stand that, and I pledge I'm not going to do that. This trailer will be finished. You will see it being towed up the road. As daft and stupid and pointless as it is, it's fun, and that's what's going to happen. I will be towing it up the road. We will make a video of it, but I want to get it finished before we do so. I know it's safe, I know it tows okay, because I towed it around the yard outside, and I know it's alright, so it's not a case of any trial and error in that way. But there we go, waffling too much already. Let's get stuck in, see what happens. Right, just as a recap, you remember this, it's 8.5 inches there, 8.5 inches there. That's the chassis level, that's where I wanted it, and it's only 9 inches from the ground there, and that's got to be 11. So it's just got to come up a couple of inches. I've got a little bit of a curve there, and there's a bit of a curve there. So what I'm going to do is cut into that curve like a V, saw it out, bend it up, do the same there, and just keep perhaps grinding little bits off until that curvature is exact. It's just trial and error. Never done this before, not sure if it's going to be the right way, but at least, like for instance on the top, I'll leave this section. I'll cut into it from underneath and leave that top piece and just bend it down, and then likewise bend that one up. So effectively it will still be one piece of steel, and that will be stronger, which I think is the right way to go. So there we are. Right. Meaningful to draw on. Always secure your subject. Alright, now I reckon just to start things off, I can grind the V wider if I need to. I reckon just a centimetre is enough. That's all we need to cut. And a 90-degree angle. Alright, one pie slice. Right, now we've got that cut, the only piece holding it is underneath. So I reckon that'll go down quite nicely. There we are. That's the general idea. Oops, put you still a minute. Earthquake. Wonderful. Now, get the tape off. Do that. I think for now, is just tack it. Just tack that, then I can do the front one. Bit of earth. Okay. Just going to tack that temporarily. Glasses and a water mask. Right, just a quick close-up. Poked a couple of tacks in it for now. You can see, just cut it right down to there. A bit more light in it. Cut it right down to its base piece and left that intact, so it won't snap off because it isn't cut right the way through. And now, I'll cut that slice. In theory, cutting out the same size slice should put the curve in exactly the same position. I might be completely wrong. We'll find out in a minute. Because if it ain't right, I can always put a little bit of spacer in it. Or cut it a bit wider. There we go. And my boys always wear protection. There we go. Seem to bend about the same amount. Right. Time for a measure and see if we have achieved the requisite 2 inches. Right, now, with the front and back at roughly the same height, it's about 8 3/4 now, and that sits perfectly just over 11, and that's close enough. So it's just what we wanted. Quite lucky really, because I would have had to obviously space that or cut a bit more or whatever, but as it is, it's perfect. So I'm going to weld that round, both of them, clean them up, and I'll put the old hitch on. I'm going to hitch the whole thing up, show you what it looks like. Let's get some welding done first. V out the gap a little bit, somewhere to put the weld. Right, I'm going to make some little link plates to plug weld over. I just need to anvil them a bit to finesse them into shape. Let's see, general idea, pop that in there and then plug weld each piece. Now those being finessed into a correct shape, they will fit, oops, neatly under. Was it that one? That's better. That one fits in there. I would just plug weld that in, and the other one in there. Just plug weld it in. Got to grind them off a bit first. Right, that's all prepped up. Just on this, with a hitting stick. Just want to, on here, got a decent bit of penetration on that weld, so standard weld test, beat the crap out of it, and that, actually that sits in there better now. Nice one. Right, I think that'll be strong enough. That'll work. Just finesse. Those are good. That's not bad, filled a little hole as well. Excellent. Penetration. Right, that big plate, that ain't going to let it go. I think I've got the weld just about right. Well, for my quality anyway. Plenty of penetration in that. Ain't going anywhere. It's all been beaten with a hammer mercilessly. And as ugly as it looks, it will never come off. So now, tidy it up and offer it up. Now, a little coat of the obligatory Black Bordicus Painticus. There we go. It's smoking because I just ground it all back. Well, it'll dry, won't it? Right, that's just before it gets dark. That is pretty much it now. Much better angle on that neck. Now it sits right when you sit on it. That little bit of cant backwards is just right. I can't sit on it because I haven't got penny pit stop here to film it. But when I sit on it, the back drops down and the trailer is perfectly level. So that, if I just push it, as you can see it does, when I sit on it, it probably drops down about 2 inches or so. And there we are, coming on. Fenders to go on still. Chains, finials, lights, other odds and ends, things to make it legal. But now that's correct. When I sit on it, it's now at the right angle. And that's all because we've got that angle there just right. And that's a guess. There you go. Sometimes it works. So there we go. Part 31. Project Rat Trailer. 31. Didn't know it'd go on beyond 10, but there we are. It's just coming up with different things, thinking of different things, and then carrying them out. There's no point in finishing it before I'm ready. Still got a fair bit to do. Got to get the fenders on, get the lights on, get it wired, get the bike wired. That's going to be fun. Just going to use Scotch locks and just lock in the wiring. It's got to have brake lights, indicators, and so on. I want to put a fender inside the tow hitch, just a little secondary mudguard so that it doesn't jet wash the trailer as it's riding along in the rain, because it will go out in the rain. I've got to put the sign on. My good man Klaus, my good mate Klaus in Denmark, made Damaged Goods, which is the name. He came up with the name first. Damaged Goods for damage the bike, pretty clever. So that sign's going to be curved and put on the front like a nice nameplate on the front. And also the finials of Doom, they've got to go on. They're going to look a bit daft, kind of monster stylish. So there's quite a bit to do. All the plastic chain, we're going to chain it up as well so it looks like the bike. And there we are. Pretty much getting there. We're moving slowly forward. Haven't got as much time as I used to have, but each time I do get a little bit of a moment on this, I'm going to try and keep going forwards. Thanks for the suggestions on how to have done this neck. Every single one of them was a bona fide and perfectly feasible solution, but I decided to go with what I thought of, which was not to cut the whole thing through, just to cut 3/4 of the way or 4/5 of the way, and then just keep that piece intact and bend it. I like that because then it's peace of mind. It's not going to break, and the welds have all been hammered properly, so they're not going to break either. And that's it. There we are. Thanks for tuning in and watching Delboy's Garage. I always appreciate all the comments and support, so keep them coming. And ride safe. Above all, the winter's coming. Something else very quickly I want to say: the clocks in England, in Britain, the clocks are going to change. I don't think you have it in Scotland, but we have daylight saving here, and at the end of this month, which is what, a week away or so, the clocks change. And for the first time, a lot of car drivers, in fact a lot of people, car drivers, bikes, trucks, whatever, are riding in the dark, driving in the dark for the first time. So be careful, take it easy, give it a little bit of extra time. It's the darkness is about to fall on us, and it's a new experience after a summer in the daylight and sun. So take it easy, ride safe, let's all make it through the winter. See you next time.